Hey, hey, baseball fans. How's it going out there? Welcome into the Monday edition here of the Payoff Pitch. I'm, of course, Jason, and he's the Hockey Squirrel. We hope everybody's having a good day. How's it going with you there, Hockey Squirrel?
Awesome. Absolutely excellent, coming off of a big 3-0 Sunday sweep last night. Three money lines, and topped it off with the Astros again. I've now gone 3-0. I just happened to not bet the game that they lost, so that was awesome. But yeah, I went 3-0 for the customers, and after that, I was like, well, there's one game left, right? And it was the Red Sox, and I threw a little bit on the Red Sox, won that too. So I had myself personally a 4-0 day. Absolutely excellent, though. And so, yeah, I mean, there's still a lot left to do with hockey, as well as we're starting to kind of wind down the season there, get ready for the playoffs at the beginning of next month. So got all of that, got MLB going on, obviously, with the show, and then whatever I do over at my website. So that is an option as well if it's something that you're interested in learning more about. $60 a month, which is really $2 a day for some really great information over at hockeysquirrel.com. But other than that, looks like we have another fun slate today, and moving on. So
Love it. Love it when the good times just keep on rolling along. Let's do that. Let's just jump right into the action. Everybody can see on the left-hand side, those are the innings that we call it, and we'll just roll right on through these and break down today's entire MLB slate. First up is quick hits. This is where we just kind of give you guys our opening thoughts. I'll go ahead and go first. Look, we've had 4 days of MLB, and I've got 4 days of MLB profit, and I'm being carried so far by these MLB player props. 6-1 so far in MLB player props. So liking the action on so far. It's a little weird though, I will say, because if this was like a month from now, I'd be sitting here and really spitting out all this data, but we've got 4 games really to go off of. So I'm really just kind of leaning on things that, happened in 2021 and really haven't been doing too much deep diving because there's 4 games in and I'm not going to overreact to to 4 games in. So look forward to
Well, and I think everyone kind of is, right? I mean,
yeah,
right now it's kind of like, what do you do? And
right.
yeah, but I will be as well working on building a data model here as we get 10, 15, 20 games in and whatnot, and it won't be so much like I think he did well last year.
Right.
But
all right, well, let's jump on in now to second inning. Second inning is around the bases. We'll each take 2 games, break them down for you, and of course give you guys a bet along the way. What games are you feeling off the top there, Hockey Squirrel?
to be honest with you, man, I think if I'm being honest, what I think looks like a trap or a very public offering to entice the public on one side would be the Boston Red Sox. And well, I think we can sit here and say that we know which side would be the probably the stronger batting lineup, which I would think would be the Boston Red Sox. They're coming off of an emotional series in New York playing the Yankees. They pulled off their game last night in a evening game or a later night game than everyone else played. And you get Michael Wacha on the mound, which has been absolutely terrible as far as I'm concerned for especially even through last year. What was that?
Walker's been terrible.
Oh, okay.
God,
Yeah.
Guy's been terrible.
Caught that out of the corner of my eye. I knew you were doing something, but I didn't see what. But yeah, and going against Matt Manning, you have the Austin Meadows, the Javier Baez, the Candelario, Cabrera, Jonathan Scope. I think it's pretty decent matchup here. And to go against Wacha, I think what I'm willing to do is take my first 5-inning game of the season, and if they're not going to get it done against Michael Wacha, I don't really want to go against the bullpen in the later stages of this game. So I mean, I think if they're going to get it done, they come out to a quick hot start and go against a Boston team that played last night and had to travel now to Detroit, and really has kind of a crappy pitcher on the mound.
All right, so you're going to back those Tigers there on the F5 money line, you said?
On the first 5 money line, yeah, and that's somewhere around even odds. It's a little bit different at each book, but yeah, between plus 100 and plus 105, something like that.
All right, well, I've also got an F5 bet coming on. I feel like this Brewers versus Orioles game and going right back to fading a pitcher that we're all familiar with, and we faded him a ton last season in Bruce Zimmerman. So I like that F5 team total there for the Brewers over 2.5 runs at minus 105. Again, we're just playing this on Zimmerman, right? We know he had a 5.04 ERA last season with a 1.51 whip, a 291 opponent's batting average. Just imagine that, a 291 opponent's batting average, and somebody was willing to give you a contract to come back again this season. Boy, I don't really understand that. And he's also given a home run every 4.5 innings. So we expect the Brewers to at least hit one home run before the 5 innings is up. So, yeah, they should absolutely tag this guy. They got their first win of the season. Obviously, the Brewers came out of the gate stumbling, so to speak. Everybody's, I think, high on the Brewers, and especially that pitching staff, and they weren't unable to get it done, but they did get a victory there in the season or the road finale, or the series finale there against the Cubs.
You good?
So they're turning. I think they're turning the corner, and this is a pitcher that we know well. So we'll go ahead and fade Zimmerman with that Brewers F5 team total over 2.5
Yeah, that's a bet
runs.
that I really, really like as well. It was something I was looking at full game last night because generally I don't see those first fives coming out, until the morning of or day of anyway. But I was looking at the full game last night at minus 145. Now I'm seeing minus 155. So every bettor does this thing where they kick themselves and go, "Oh, I should have done it."
I think you're smart though to lay off. The Brewers don't have one of their better, starting 3 pitchers going there in Hauser. So I would isolate anything that the Brewers, need to do to win the game, and just give me runs against Zimmerman.
For sure.
What else? What else do you have for the other game?
Well, if we're looking at the Red Sox coming off of that game, we'll look at the other team in that same series, which was the Yankees, and they're now playing the Blue Jays as Toronto comes to town with Alek Manoah. And again, for a lot of the same reasons, I think I do like Toronto for, the fact that, again, the Yankees are coming off of that big series, but also that what I've noticed, not only, in their first 3 games here, but also even last year in 2021, they're a big strikeout team. I think through their first 3 games, if I remember correctly, they've been averaging like 12 strikeouts a game. Aaron Judge, I've been watching Aaron Judge strikeout. I think Stanton even last night. Donaldson, I don't think's been doing that great. Not yet anyway. And, I think I'll take the Toronto Blue Jays. They are coming to town against Jameson Taillon is the pitcher on the other mound there for the Yankees.
Yeah, I think that's a great play, folks. We obviously talk about what we're going to cover before we lead up to the show, and I was going to put the Blue Jays in as my long shot there in the 4th inning. I think the Blue Jays have more than a puncher's chance to go in there and snag a victory, so I like that play right there. I'm going to go ahead and look at the Mariners versus Twins game. Boy, I like this Mariners F5 team total over 2.5 runs at 130, and much like fading Zimmerman like we did last season, let's do the same thing here with Dylan Bundy. Boy, he put so much money in our pocket last season. This guy's ERA last season, 6.06, 1.36 whip, a 253 opponent's batting average. He also gives up a home run every 4.5 innings. This guy was just really, really good to us last season. So not going to wait to see if he improved over the offseason. Just going to go right back to fading him. The Mariners have familiarity with seeing him because last season he was a member of the Angels. So he went up against these Mariners 3 times. So love that familiarity. The Mariners won 2 of the 3 up against your Twins. So I think they're going to be a good team. I project this team to be in the playoffs. I thought they had some nice additions in the offseason. So I think the Mariners will fully get to Dylan Bundy, and I expect that to happen in the first 5 innings. So give me that team total over 2.5 runs at plus 130. All right, let's now move it over to the 3rd inning. We call it shut up and pitch. We'll go ahead and give you guys some pitching props right now. Why don't you go ahead and kick it off there?
Sure. I really only found one spot that I really liked. One thing I was hoping to find would be Luis Patino for the Rays, and I just didn't find any pitcher props at all in that game over a couple different books. Expect him to absolutely dominate the Oakland A's, but I didn't find anything on that game. And going right back to what we were just talking about being a heavy strikeout team in the Yankees, I think I'm going to take Alek Manoah over 5.5 strikeouts. That's minus 125. And we were looking at last year, his team went 2-0 against the Yankees as well. I would trust him at least enough to put away some of these batters who are just swinging for the fences. Absolutely. Which is, I think, what, this team is primarily predicated around.
I love that angle right there.
So, yeah, with 12 strikeouts a game through their first 3, and last season they were one of the heavy strikeout teams as well amongst the and you would like to think that the worst teams are the ones that strike out the most, which isn't really necessarily true. You're always going to have your outliers, and the Yankees are, I think, one of those outliers where they're still a good team. It's just that you can probably take advantage of that fact that's
Yeah.
just the way that they kind of are. That's their style of play. But yeah.
I think it's their style of play. I think that's exactly why they don't really, they're not all that successful in the postseason. It's because the guys they're either just swinging or it's home run or bust with those guys. And I don't like their approach at the plate at all. So I think they'll definitely be racking up Ks to like that one. I'm going to go ahead. We already mentioned Bruce Zimmerman. Why not go ahead and fade him with his over 4.5 hits allowed? You could snag that right now at -105. His whip is well over 1. He had 75 hits and 64.1 innings pitched last season. This bet last season would have cashed in 9 of his 13 starts. So love that high hit rate right there. And then the starter for the Orioles yesterday only went 1.2 innings pitched. So they had a pretty heavy bullpen bay yesterday. So they're going to need some length out of Bruce Zimmerman, which is a scary thing to say because the guy is just not good. Yeah. So, boy, if they have to just stick with them because that bullpen was taxed a little bit yesterday, boy, we could get a nice easy cash here. So I like Bruce Zimmerman over 4.5 hits allowed at -105. And then for my other one, I'll stick with Austin Gomber under 4.5 Ks at -150. This is, of course, the pitcher there for the Colorado Rockies. Look, the Rangers have the 5th least amount of strikeouts. Guys, it's only been 3 games, but, I mean, they are the 5th least strikeouts. They're only averaging 1 every 8 plate appearances. He did face the Rangers last season. He got 6 Ks and 2 Ks in another start. But his K for 9 number is not bad, but keep in mind, this was a pitcher in the National League who got the benefit of striking out pitchers last season. Just doesn't have that benefit this season. So a Rangers team that so far in early on in the season is showing some pretty good plate discipline. I'll go ahead and take Austin Gomber under 4.5 Ks at -150. You said you only had the one pitching prop?
Yeah, just the one for today is really all I kind of sniffed out again. I mean, I really would have loved something on Patino, but I don't know why it's just not even being offered.
All right. Well, hey, we'll look for you a little bit later on Twitter. Maybe once we do get a line, maybe you'll fire off a bet there on Patino. So look for him a little bit later on Twitter. All right, who's going to be your long shot? Inning number 4, we look for an underdog. Who you got right there?
I think my favorite underdog, my favorite underdog of the day is going to be the New York Mets with Taijuan Walker, who I think, and I remember being a really great pitcher as of, again, last year, and now with, I guess, 2 of the better lineups in batting as far as I'm concerned, as far as I've seen with Starling Marte, Lindor, Pete Alonso, the whole 9 on that side. And you do have Bryce Harper and Castellanos and whatnot on the other side, which is concerning as always, but I don't think that it's really that unmatched on either side. I think it's fairly even, and to get a +140 for, and I don't know, would you call Taijuan Walker a big favorable matchup on this game over Ranger Suarez?
I think it's favorable. I think it's certainly, favorable. I mean, Walker's
sure.
He's had big time starts, obviously, when he was with the Mariners. So, yeah, I like his stuff.
Definitely. I do as well. And for +140, I feel like it's just a little bit too much. I'm not saying that they should be favorites or anything like that. I just feel like, on the board, if you're going to take an underdog, +140 seems decent for what the matchup is.
What the matchup, yep. I'll tell you, folks, boy, I like some of these underdogs. Say I like the Mariners. I'm not going to go ahead and give that one out. I've already kind of talked about that in the F5 range right there. I like the Blue Jays. I thought Hockey Squirrel's on a great pick right there, taking the Blue Jays. If you're wondering, before I give you the pick, though, MLB underdogs on the season, they've got 21 wins and 28 losses. I don't really go by closing lines. I'm actually betting the underdogs myself this season. The profit is +1.54 units. That may vary if you see somebody on Twitter with a blue check mark and they send out different information. Okay, well, they have connection with the sports books and are giving you the closing line numbers. But fact is, the MLB underdogs do have some bark, and they are putting money in your pocket. And I'm hoping today that the Rockies can help you guys put money in your pocket. Rockies over the Rangers. You can get the best price at BetUS at +122. And look at BetUS. They've got some absolutely great lines here on underdogs, including those Rockies at +122. Hey, the Rockies are off to a great start. How about beating those Dodgers in 2 out of 3 games? Everybody loves those Dodgers, right? World Series favorites, big lineup. No, come into Colorado and drop 2 out of 3 to those Rockies. So I like that right there. Gomber versus Hearn. You go look up last season's number, it's even, or if you want to make a case that Gomber is slightly better, okay, but it's relatively an even pitching matchup. Both of these teams haven't seen a lot of left-handed pitching so far this season, so we don't really know how, if they are or not going to be successful against left-handed pitching. But hey, the Rockies want to knock off 2 or 3 against the Rockies. I think this is a relatively even matchup from obviously starting pitcher-wise. So give me those Rockies at plus 122 as a good long shot today.
Sounds
all right,
good,
if we
man.
move it along, we do 5th inning. We call it keep swinging. We gave you some pitching props. Let's go ahead and give you some hitting props. What are you eyeing today with the bat in their hand there, Squirrel?
My best one that I have is for the Angels, Anthony Rendon against Hernandez, Elizer Hernandez, if that's the pronunciation there on the first name. But 10 at-bats and 6 hits against him. 3 of them being just single bases, one of them being a double, and he's hit 2 home runs already on him as well. 0 strikeouts yet, so he's making contact, hitting the ball, and we're getting a plus 130 on 1.5 total bases to go over. So for a batter that's been making contact and making hits and has a couple home runs, no strikeouts, yeah, I will go ahead and take over 1.5 total bases at plus money. Not a question on Anthony Rendon.
Not a question. I already gave that bet out earlier this morning on TikTok. Boy, I'm right there with you. I love Anthony Rendon. People want to say he's had a slow start to the season. Well, I gave out Nelson Cruz yesterday over 1.5 total bases at plus 120. A couple people told me, he's off to a slow start. It's 3 games in. Like, what are you talking about? Talking about a slow start. My man Nelson Cruz, it's a home run in his first at-bat. Folks, you're reading way too much into this stuff if you're throwing a guy under the bus because he's had a slow start to 3 games. So love that Anthony Rendon pick. I think he's going to do some damage against Hernandez. So I'm on that one as well. I also like J.P. Crawford. Look, he's 6 for 15 up in his career against Dylan Bundy with 2 doubles. You can get over his 1.5 total bases at plus 140. And Dylan Bundy, guys, he's going to get rocked. So I think J.P. Crawford, with his history, I think he's going to be a guy that's going to get some damage done. So I like him at plus 140. Did you have another one?
Yeah, I do have one more, but we have a comment asking about catching props.
Catching props? Hey, if they offer it, I'll research it. I ain't scared. What is that, like how many times I'll have a pass ball? That'd be pretty funny, or something like that.
So I was looking the other way. Instead of getting bases and getting hits and whatnot, we're looking for a guy to actually go under a hit. To not get a hit at all, which I think you had one of these the first day and it cashed. Was that on Blackman?
Yeah, it was Ben Gamel. Ben Gamel, plus 150.
Ben Gamel, okay.
Ben Gamel,
Gotcha.
Great cash. I didn't bet it. It was a lean. But I wish I should have bet it. I should have bet it.
We're getting another plus money all the way up at plus 180 for Brian Reynolds. And let me pull up here because I'm not remembering off the top of my head.
He's a
Brian
pirate.
Reynolds against Dakota Hudson has had 8 at-bats against him and has hit 0. Had a couple walks, strikeouts, whatnot. But, I mean, for no hits against a particular pitcher and, not saying that Dakota Hudson's going to be like a Walker Buehler or anything, but or a DeGrom where you'd expect that kind of thing. But for a plus 180 for a guy that hasn't hit at all on the pitcher, I'll go ahead and take that.
Yeah, and Hudson's a good pitcher. He wasn't worked too much last year coming back from injury, but that guy's got some good stuff. So hopefully he can keep Reynolds there quiet. All right, so those are our pitching or our hitting props. Let's move over now to It's a Steal. Some bet that we just saw on the board that we were like, the what? They offered us that? I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a Rifey. How about a Rifey there for It's a Steal? And if you're new to the broadcast, a Rifey is yet run in the first inning. So run first inning. So the opposite of obviously a NRFI, guys. We're going to do a Rifey. I'm going to go right to this Rockies versus Rangers game. Look, both of these teams are averaging 1.33 runs in the first inning earlier on the season, but they both rank in the top 10 in that stat. What I really like here is what the pitchers were just getting rocked in the first inning last season. Gomber gave up 18 runs in his 23 starts last season. In that first inning, his whip was 1.48 with a 0.258 opponent's batting average. And then Hearn there with the Rangers, boy, he gave up 8 runs in 12 starts last season. His whip was 1.50 with an opponent's batting average of 293. So 2 guys that, for whatever reason, they cannot start off a game well at all. Both these teams, at least early on the season, are showing their ability to come out with hot bats. So, all right, I'll give you guys a Rifey there as a steal at minus 130. What?
Sounds good. I'm often in the chat here. Somebody was asking if we can mention the teams that the player is on when we're doing batting props, which I
Oh yeah, we should
think
definitely do that.
is
So
a good
what?
idea.
Rendon was a Angel.
Yep.
Crawford is a Mariner, and Reynolds was a
Ryan
Pirate.
Reynolds is a Pirate. Yep.
Great, great. Love that suggestion. Our fault.
Yeah. Good feedback. Yeah. Anything we can do to improve your experience, my guy.
All right, what you got for a steal? What's a steal out there?
So for a steal, I'm sitting here. I was looking at the board, and I don't know, man. I really like the Giants. I like Alex Wood, and I looked at the Padres, and I said Nick Martinez, who? And last time we saw him in the MLB was 2017 with the Texas Rangers. We are now in 2022. Had to check the date, man. It's been a while since we've seen him, and the last time we saw him, he had a 5.66 ERA with a 1.37 WHIP. Got sent to Japan to play for a few seasons in is it Nippon professional baseball? Is where he's been at anyway, and I have to imagine that this is going to be higher caliber baseball than what he's been playing in. And I mean, you go against Alex Wood there at a minus 145 price, giving the Giants at home against the Padres, and again we're not having to go against Tatis and all that. I just feel like, what? At minus 145, I mean, yeah, they should be a favorite, but I think more of a favorite than minus 145 as far as I'm concerned. And really, if you wanted to make an absolute play on that, just take the first 5 innings, which is probably what I would do if I'm going to play that game.
Okay, nice. I like that bet right there. All right, let's move over now to coming to a stretch. What's going to be your best bet? That's what we do here in the 7th inning at coming to a stretch. What's your best bet?
Believe it or not, I really honestly think I'm going to make a play against Michael Wacha. I think it's a complete public trap, and I'm going to go first 5 innings with the Detroit Tigers, as contrarian potentially as it may seem. And I understand the Red Sox probably, much better batting lineup and whatnot, but for the spot that they're in and for the pitcher that they have, I will go ahead and try to fade the public there and take a Detroit Tigers first 5 innings around even money.
All right, come on, Tigers. Let's get off to a good start in that game. For my best bet, I'm going to go to a strategy that A, I used yesterday to a winning strategy, and B, we used last season a lot. And that is when you get in the last game of these series, I actually love taking the over. And the over we took yesterday was in that Mariners-Twins game. It's because all the good bullpens have been exposed, right? You've seen them. Now you know what these guys' delivery looks like, their pitching repertoire, and etc. So that last game, you see a lot of overs. We cashed that over yesterday. What's the one I like today? Well, the Royals and Indians are now playing their last game of a 4-game set. Over 8.5 runs at minus 115. We don't really know these pitchers, how they're going to perform this season, but, they were about average last season. There's a reason why these guys are the number 4 starters, respectively, on their teams. You add that in with these bullpens that have been seen by the hitters. I like over 8.5 runs in that Royals-Indians game at minus 115. All right. Okay. Inning number 8. We call it Safe or Out. This is where we try and help you guys out with all these promos that these sports books are offering you guys. And one thing I want to just mention off the top is, boy, I hope you guys didn't take those MLB parlay boosts that we tried to warn you guys on last week. We do not know who's good and who's bad. I didn't see hardly any of those cash over the weekend. I mean, there are people who, do nothing but their Twitter accounts are only promos, and they weren't getting excited about any of those parlays cashing. So just be careful with those parlay boosts that those sports books are offering. There's a reason they're offering you those, because we don't know who's good and who's bad. And then DraftKings has another one saying, well, Pete Alonso or Bryce Harper hit a home run. Well, Alonso's 0 for 5 against today's starter, and Harper's only 3 for 14. So I'd certainly give you a little bit of caution of that. That's not a promo or anything I would jump all over. So other than that,
I'll give you one thing for today.
Okay, you found one? Cool.
Just the daily special for today, at least on DraftKings. And this is pretty closely related to like what a grand salami would be, like the home runs, away runs, or daily total. The daily total on 12 games is over or under 113.5. So 114 runs over 12 games would be 9.5 per game on average. Do you think you see a lot of runs today, or do you think that goes under 9.5 per game roughly?
while it is a lot of runs, there's a reason they're trying to entice you on that. It's because you're getting pretty much every team's fourth starter today, and everybody's thinking they're back of the head. Well, 4 starters, they should get rocked. Man, that's a lot of runs though in every game. And there's definitely no good pitchers on the mound. I mean, go look at today's MLB slate. There's nobody on the mound that you're really super confident in of throwing a good game. You know what I mean? So
I have a couple, but yeah, only two. Today.
What was
I like Patino a lot, and I like Alex Wood.
I will say Patino is good. I really like that Rays pitching staff overall, and I like the way Kevin Cash really manages that team overall. So, who was the other pitcher you think you like?
I like Alex Wood.
Oh, the other one I like. Oh, and I meant to mention it when I gave out the Mariners bet was Chris Flexen. He was one of the pitchers that we rode so hard last season. I can't wait to see if he can produce that same success he had last season in the F5, because that was a pretty popular bet for me last season when Chris Flexen was on the mound, was taking the Mariners F5 money line. I didn't take it obviously today. I just really wanted to focus on that offense and just give me that team total. But I'm curious to see if Chris Flexen can reproduce his same success last season in the first 5, because that could be another just bet that we just ride all season long. I think that might actually be the best pitcher on today's slate, actually, is Chris Flexen. I really like that guy. He's pretty good. Alex Wood is also pitching for the Giants. I don't know. There's a couple good guys. All right, let's go ahead and now move it to the closer. 9th inning here. Go ahead and give these people our official bets. Which ones did you actually bet today there, Hockey Squirrel?
You gave one out that I didn't cover, but we did talk about it a little bit, so I'm going to hop on one of your bets, actually, and I will take the Brewers in the first 5, as I really do like that bet. And I found it at minus 135, where I think the full game's minus 155 right now. So you're getting 20 cents on the dollar cheaper for going against what we're not expecting to be a good pitcher at all in Zimmerman and the Orioles. So I will go ahead and grab that one. I really do like the Giants money line at that minus 145 price against the dude that hasn't pitched since 2017 and he's been in Japan. I think that's kind of funny, but yeah, I mean, I'll take Alex Wood and the Giants at home for a minus 145 price. The Detroit first 5 as my best bet. I'm going to obviously take that one. And then I think I'm probably going to put a little bit of my actual money on that Anthony Rendon prop over 1.5 total bases, as I think it's just a little too good in the stats there for that one. So I will go ahead and give out 4 there for official bets.
Yeah, don't worry about putting a little bit of money. I put a lot of money on that Anthony Rendon.
I'm not a huge prop player, man. I'm just not. I don't know.
You got anything else going on over today at the Hockey Squirrel before I give them my bets at thehockeysquirrel.com?
Other than just baseball, man, there's one hockey game, and I got to be honest with you. I mean, you said everybody's on the over on Twitter. I understand it. You have Comrie and Jake Allen, 2 teams that, there's no Scheifele, all that. It's just something I'm completely staying away from. I don't think that the Jets are the play by any means. It's pretty meaningless at this point for the Montreal Canadiens, and the goaltenders. The situation's not even good. So, and you're paying minus 120 for over 6.5 on that game. It's just all the way around. I don't like it. So I'm sticking with baseball today, but I do have a pretty full card in the MLB as well. So as I already said, $60 a month for great information over there at hockeysquirrel.com. So,
all right, well, coming off a sweep yesterday, let's see if we can't bring those brooms back out. I'm going to try and pull off a sweep of my own with 5 bets. As much of the ones I already rifled off here. I like that Brewers F5 team total over 2.5 runs at minus 105. I also like the Mariners F5 team total over 2.5 runs at plus 130. Anthony Rendon there of the Angels over 1.5 bases at plus 130. J.P. Crawford of the Mariners over 1.5 bases at plus 140. And Bruce Zimmerman of the Orioles over 4.5 hits allowed. And that one comes in at minus 105. So we'll roll with 3 player props and 2 F5 totals for our Monday afternoon slate of baseball here. And it starts early this afternoon. Another just day baseball. We don't have to wait until the nightcap. I'm loving this.
Yeah, I love it too, man. No, it's like, I think the worst part of the day for a sports bettor, especially like as you get professional, is like, what the hell do I do with myself between 3 and 6 o'clock when these games start? Like, you're just like, just waiting for the game to start.
Yeah, waiting to see how it's going to unfold. All right, I think you've got some great bets. I know I've got some great bets as well. We look forward to seeing how it unfolds. Lots of great comments. Thank you guys for hitting that like button on your way out. Let's go ahead and cash these bets. And we'll see you back here on tomorrow's slate for another Tuesday action. Have a good one, guys.
Sounds good. Yep, bye-bye.